This is the Mendon Select Board. We will call the meeting to order at 5:33. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adding or deleting items to the agenda. I have nothing here. Sarah, did you have anything to add or delete? Or Megan, did you have anything you wanted to add to the
agenda? No. The business, under the business things though, Sarah, oh yeah, you put enter executive session. Okay, great, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as is.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Under administrative matters, we received these beforehand. Anybody have any questions before we approve payroll check warrants?
No.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll for 9/3 in the amount of $10,794.12.
Second that.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to approve 9/5/24 in the amount of $60,543.77 check warrant. And
or you want to do both?
sure. And $7,895.07.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under letter B, approving the minutes from August 26th. I'll make a motion to do that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So Seth, when you have a moment, I believe it's just your signature. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I'll have that in my mailbox.
I'll swing in tomorrow, Val.
Thank you. Letter C, rural and non-metro election infrastructure grant program. It's for $5,000 to execute this paperwork. I'll make a motion to do that.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do we need to submit a list or anything with that grant of what we might use that for?
Jesse will be submitting expenses under that grant as part of the closeout of the grant. But
Okay.
she's been given some guidance on what it can be used for. And it is to provide secure elections and election supplies before the November elections.
Okay. So she doesn't need to come back and get approval from the select board?
Correct.
Okay. Under announcements, taxes due, they must be postmarked or deposited in our secure mailbox at the office by the 9th.
And you can also
6:30?
pay online. You can also
6:30?
pay online with a credit card on our
Okay.
website.
Until
So
6:30.
they are due today. We're in the final hours of collecting taxes. There is a 1% penalty as of tomorrow.
Also, Mendon students, grades K through 12, are eligible for a discounted ski pass at Killington and Pico. You can contact Sara, Tully, our town administrator, if you have any questions or if you feel that your child could or should be on this list. And sometimes it's tricky. I know we've called. Last year we had a lot of hurdles to go through, so.
Yeah. Sometimes I lose students because they're attending non-traditional schools, and the supervisory union doesn't quite know about where all of our students are attending. So it's a lot of calling around to schools that historically we have sent students to.
And we have public comment. It's open, 2 minutes per person.
Justin, do you have anything?
No. Sure. Brian Gates. I'd like to know if there's any restrictions for me at this town office. Am I restricted, or do I need to be chaperoned?
Every resident is treated the same at the town office.
Why isn't the sheriff here tonight? Oh, yes.
Is that all you have?
At the moment. Why, do I need more?
No, I was
Is that
just
enough of my
asking.
time? No, what you said last time.
Is-
My time up? Ready to cut me off?
Your time is almost up. Yes, I just asked, was there anything else?
Oh.
Okay.
My husband can reclaim his time.
I still have time, so why are you shutting me off?
I'm not shutting you up. I
You
asked
just
if you
did.
had anything more.
Brian, we demand respect. You demand
So
respect.
do I.
Okay, then treat Megan with respect. You had nothing else to say.
At the last meeting, she cut me off.
On to
And
business.
said,
On to business.
It's 2 minutes over.
On to business.
See?
See?
how you shut me off?
Yep, exactly. Letter A.
No respect. That's covered. Just like you yelled at me. for
Enough.
not standing
Enough.
for the flag.
Do you want to leave? You want to stay? Can you zip it?
I'll
Thanks.
do whatever I want.
Okay,
How's that?
do whatever you want to out there.
You telling me I can't?
Recreation economy, letter A, for rural communities.
I attended this webinar on the subject, and it is my belief, after talking to 2 members of the Recreation Committee, that there's just really nothing that we can get ready for application by next month, which is when it's due, and there really aren't any projects that anybody is looking to do at this point.
Thank you for doing that. Sheriff Ryder is here. Letter B, open meeting law complaint. I'm just going to open this up on the computer.
Sarah, you have the open meeting law complaint on the agenda. What would you like us to do? Read the statement or?
Yeah, read the statement. So we received a complaint, and Val, do you have the response?
Yeah, my computer was just sleeping. I'm going to read number 9. Is that a good start?
So there's
Number 9.
Make sure you do what Sarah tells you.
There's
I
a
don't-
response here that we sent. Sarah, you're talking about the public response, right?
Yeah, the notice from the office of the select board, yeah.
Yeah. So I am looking for that now, just because it seems like maybe,
Who wrote that? That's a good question. Who wrote
excuse
that?
me, excuse us.
Well, because I got an email of that, but
Yeah.
nobody signed it.
No,
It
it's
said there
not,
was an investigation, but nobody talked to me.
You
No, he
had
wrote
time
the
to
letter.
speak.
so do you have it?
This is part of the business, Val. He has every time to speak about this issue.
No, she doesn't. Thank you.
It's on our letterhead. It's from Sara.
Why didn't she sign it?
Because she put it on the letterhead after our meeting of the investigation.
How come there was no public meeting? You're not supposed to meet in private. That should have been a public meeting. You can't meet on your own.
It was an investigation.
It was not a meeting of the select board. There was no quorum present. There were representatives of the select board that conducted an investigation after we received your complaint, Brian.
You would think that
Can I
The
start?
LCT,
investigation,
Excuse me.
you would talk to.
Excuse me.
the
This is
victim.
between us.
Right.
We're gonna read the.
Is this lettered 1, 2, and 3?
No, it's on our
no,
letterhead.
it's the public statement.
Okay.
It's not a public statement.
Do you want me to read it, Val?
Yeah,
That's
why don't you
fine.
go ahead, Sarah?
Okay. Like Megan said, it's on the Town of Mendon letterhead, September 6, 2024, public notice from the office of the select board, which is who the letter's from. On August 27th, the Town of Mendon Select Board received a letter from Mr. Brian Gates alleging that he had been excluded from a Mendon Planning Commission meeting on August 19th, 2024. The letter alleged a violation of the Vermont's open meeting law and cited 1 VSA 314. The Select Board investigated the allegation and finds. The August Mendon Planning Commission meeting was scheduled for August 19th at 2024 at 5:15 p.m. A hearing was noticed at 5:30 and a second hearing was noticed at 6:30. Arrangements for law enforcement personnel are made in advance for in-person meetings at the Mendon Town Office for the public safety and security pursuant to a directive from the Select Board. The Mendon Planning Commission chair arrived at the town office shortly before 5:15 p.m. on August 19th. Because law enforcement was not present at the time, she attempted to reach town officials by phone in order to ascertain the status of law enforcement's presence at the meeting. For that reason, she was not in the meeting room at 5:15, and there was not a quorum of the Mendon Planning Commission members in the meeting room at 5:15. Mr. Gates proceeded towards the meeting room and the Mendon Planning Commission chair indicated that the meeting had not yet started. Mr. Gates continued to proceed to the meeting room and entered it while the Mendon Planning Commission chair made phone
That's a
calls in
lie.
the office area, the town clerk's office, the office area of the town clerk's office. After confirming the status of law enforcement's plan to arrive at the meeting, she went into the meeting room and convened the meeting at approximately 5:30 after confirming that a quorum of the meeting was present. Mr. Gates was in the room at the time the meeting convened and remained in the room for 1 hour and 45 minutes before he voluntarily left the meeting, which is visible on the recording of the meeting posted on the Mendon website at www.mendonbeach.gov. It is our determination that Mr. Gates was not excluded from the August 19th Mendon Planning Commission meeting, and no violation of the open meeting law has occurred, so no cure is necessary.
Thank you. I found it.
Now can I talk?
2 minutes.
There was a quorum in here at 5:15, Justin Lindholm, Sara Buxton, and Dick Howe. That's a quorum. She stopped me from coming in this meeting room after 5:15. The meeting was scheduled for 5:15. Not only did she tell me I couldn't go in, but then when I said, "What are you gonna physically stop me?" She got in front of me and stopped me and pushed me a little bit. That is a violation of the open meeting laws. You forgot to leave the part where we had interaction in the hallway. Steve was there, weren't you there, Steve? You saw us
Steve
say,
Eller
don't go
was
in,
here.
correct? Yeah, right from Steve. She told me I could not go in, correct? Correct? And
He's
there was
not,
3 people in here too.
you
That's
can
a
talk to
quorum.
us.
Okay, that's a quorum. Justin, Dick Howe, 3 people. You don't need 4 people on the plan. No, you do not.
Because it's a 7-member board.
No, and Steve Ellerman was right here. He just wasn't in the room. But he saw the whole thing, so that's a lie. I hear you.
That now that there are 7 members on the committee, 4 is a quorum.
Right.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to have a quorum. In the open meeting law, it doesn't have to be a meeting underway. It's just stopping somebody from going into the meeting, not at the meeting. It doesn't start when the meeting starts. It starts when I walk in that, when I walked in that door, nobody can stop me from going in this room, and she did. That's a violation of the open meeting law, period.
You were allowed in the meeting when the meeting was adjourned.
I wasn't allowed in the meeting when other people were having a conversation in here. Because we have it on tape, because he has it, my wife taped the whole thing before the meeting started. You guys there was 3 people in here talking about business that was
Before
gonna be
you
conducted.
started the meeting.
Carol has it on tape, because you guys had that
Right,
on.
2 minutes.
You may have not
Right.
been recording, but my wife taped it. Ryder has it.
3 members of the planning commission is not a quorum, and they are allowed to talk
Doesn't
about
matter. That
town
doesn't
business.
mean there's not a meeting going on. And the meeting doesn't have to be going on to violate the open meeting law. Once that door is open and I'm a public member, I can walk in.
Brian,
Thank you.
I already explained to you
I
how
hear
the
you.
law reads. They've made their decision. You know what my decision is, and that will be, as they say in court, the order of the court. That is what they.
No, it won't, because we'll go into
And that's
civil court.
well within your right to do in the
Absolutely.
statute, but they've
Okay.
done what they need to do.
This is what our decision has been from our investigation,
I hear you.
okay?
Yep.
All right, thank you. Next order of business,
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up again.
Did you send the letter?
select board rules and procedures 2024 amendment.
Right.
Send the letter to him yet?
I have not.
Why not?
I'll talk to you about it. I have a, I gotta explain something to you.
Did you happen to print it?
No. Sarah,
Yeah,
the select board rules and procedures amended, 2024 amended?
yeah, I have them.
Okay, could you read that, please?
So, the proposed amendment to the select board rules of procedure that were adopted in, September 9th, in March, we adopted the rules of procedure. So, I'm proposing the following amendment. Effective July 1, the open meeting law requires public meetings to be held in person or hybrid in person with remote access. All in-person meetings will be conducted with law enforcement present. Access to the building will be limited to members of the board, town staff, and invited members of the public to distribute meeting materials prior to the meeting being called to order. The general public will have access to the meeting space once law enforcement is present and prior to the public meeting being called to order. If law enforcement becomes unavailable to attend the public meeting, the meeting will be rewarned or called to order only to conduct business to adjourn to a set date and time in the future in accordance with the open meeting law. Starting 5 minutes prior to the scheduled public meeting, the chair of the public body will keep the public informed of the reason for any delay if the public building is not yet open to the public. So essentially, once our improvements are made to the vestibule area, the public would wait in the vestibule area until law enforcement arrived at the town office, and then the building would be open to the meeting room before the meeting is called to order.
Okay, so are we to make a motion to amend the select board rules and procedures of 2024?
Yeah, to re-adopt the rules of procedure with.
I
that
object
includes the amendment.
publicly. I object.
Your objection's been heard.
Now shut up. Basically, why don't you say that to him?
So,
Enough.
Right.
See how disrespectful that is?
I said your objection's been heard.
Make a motion to adopt the amended rules of procedure for 2024.
I'll second that.
And if I was elected, that would never happen, Sarah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I'm still finding my way around this email.
So the next is the executive session to discuss the evaluations that have happened, to have a review of that.
We will enter executive session to discuss employee evaluations per 1 VSA State Statute 313A3. Select Board is out of executive session. There were no decisions made during executive session. And we can adjourn the meeting at 6:32.